Hello guys, welcome back to the channel and to this review. Look at what I have here today. Yes, it is a watch courtesy of Spinnaker Watches. Thank you guys for providing this for today's review. So look at this particular box. It is sizable. It is not the usual box. This is I guess a more premium box for this piece. So let's have a look at what's in here. So look at that. I'll just take out the outer box and we'll have a look at what's in here. And if you can appreciate it already, you can see there is actually grain on this box. It is a wooden box, so really it's quite nice. I've really been quite impressed with this presentation for a watch which is not too expensive. So, you know, look at the inside. There's a Spinnaker sail on the back there, and that layout that you see here. So this watch, the MSRP is 410 USD. Obviously you will get it for less than that, as it will be discounted by most retailers, and also on the website itself use the discount code that Spinnaker have kindly provided for this channel to get 30% off this or any other piece from their website. So this piece is the Spinnaker Cahill, which is of the vintage diver range. This model is SP-5033-03 for this model color variation, which is orange and black, of course. So let's take it out of this cushion here. In here we have a spring bar removal tool to change it to the alternate straps. So just quickly, this is obviously leather, and it is waterproof treated leather. You can see this is the buckle end, Spinnaker on the end here, and black PVD treated steel, which is relatively well done in a Spinnaker on the buckle there, both on this and the orange NATO strap, which I swapped the watch onto. So let's put this aside and take a closer look at this piece. So this piece is automatic, of course. You can already see the movement ticking away there. It's a Miyota movement. It doesn't say which Miyota on the website. It does say it is a Miyota, and it's 21 joules, and I can tell you it's the 8215 movement, 21,600 beats per hour, of course, on the Japanese Miyota automatic piece. 40-hour reserve is the default reserve on this movement. It is non-hacking. It does have a quick set date, which is indicated on that 3 o'clock window there. The case is 43 millimeters in black PVD treatment, 316L steel. It is somewhat thick. It is actually 16 millimeters on the thickness there, and I don't know if you can see that, but it's got a Spinnaker carved onto the side of the case there. So, you know, again, subtle, but it's there in this PVD treatment. 22 millimeter lugs, which is suitable for this size. It is a vintage design, so if you can already appreciate seeing the side here that it actually doesn't have crown guards, which is an interesting different look. It almost that crown almost looks vulnerable to me, like almost naked without the usual crown guards that we're used to seeing in most modern watches. 200 meter water rating, suitable for diving. Black texture on the dial. Let's see if I can capture that. So I'm not sure if that I'm able to capture it, but if you look at the dial, you can see there is texture on the dial. So it's matte and textured to ostensibly improve the visibility, and I think it does. As you can see, it is the classic Mercedes hands, I guess homaging again the famous Submariner from Rolex. Orange lume, orange painted, classic shaped markers there, but interestingly they have different color applications on this lume, and I'll try to insert a lume shot here, and when you look at this at night after it's charged, it's an interesting view that you can see the different colors, you know, a different color on the bezel compared to the dial with the hands there. Now the website does say this is Swiss superluminous. I don't know what that exactly means. You know, if it is superluminova, it's either a very thin application, that's why it doesn't perform quite as good as superluminova. It doesn't even perform as good as Seiko or Citizen Lume, I think. So it's either a very thin application, or in fact it's not superluminova as it seems to imply. The glass is hardened mineral glass, that's the description. The bezel is, of course, a unidirectional bezel. It is 120 click, so you know that's pleasing compared to the previous diver which I reviewed, which had 90 click. That bezel insert, you can already see there's a reflectiveness to it, and they say it's a Hardlex insert, which is really interesting. I've not seen a watch with a Hardlex mineral glass insert, and there is a surfacing, so that gloss surface sits over the printed black with lume out at the bottom there. So that's an interesting touch there. It certainly gives it a distinct look and feel, different from other watches that I've seen. The band, so you've seen the leather band. This band is really quite a robust and thick NATO strap here, thicker than other NATOs that I've featured on the channel. Really, they've chosen a very robust NATO, black PVD steel hardware as mentioned, and an identical shaped buckle to that leather band. So let's put it on for the wrist shot. Okay, so there we go, that sitting on the wrist. As mentioned, it is relatively high, and the NATO pushes it even higher. Okay, that's the look there on the wrist with the NATO. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to swap it out for the leather strap, and then we'll do a shot on the wrist with the leather. Okay, so here we are, shot on the wrist with the leather strap. So it sits lower, of course, because there's no band running under the body of the watch there. So I just want to show you one more thing before I start commenting. So that display back there, Spinnaker on the rotor, that blue rotor, as well as a sail printed on the glass at the back there. So a nice signature touch of their watches, and you can see that movement there. No doubt it's a Miyota 8215, no doubt in my mind anyway. And you can see some details printed around the radius, the circumference of that window there in terms of the details of the watch. Okay, so what do I think of this piece? Let's rotate the bezel round. So I think it's a nice sporty look. I like the execution of the glass, the mineral glass with the Hardlex, and it's got a nice contiguous feel there with that dome being quite contiguous with the bezel there, similar to the Oris Aquis that I have actually, except the Oris is ceramic, of course. So it's executed reasonably well. The movement is solid. The Miyota 8215 is proven. It's been around for a long time. It's got really quite a nice presentation case. I really like the touch that they've done with this. A box that you may think come with much more higher end pieces. This is a sub 300 really, in terms of what you realistically will pay for sub $300 with this box. Is really quite outstanding. What I don't like, well, I black and orange, I really like the color combination of black and orange, don't get me wrong. In various applications, black and orange just comes out so nicely. But in this watch, I think the PVD with the black and the Hardlex, it gives it a plasticky look actually, and almost a plasticky feel as well. So it doesn't feel as good as they could have done it. I think I would have preferred a plain stainless steel ones like one of the other models that they do have. That would be my personal choice. This wouldn't be the watch I'd choose if I had a choice of the exact color combination, but that's personal. I think despite me liking this color combination, I think that it just doesn't work quite as well on this particular watch model. What else? I think the case, unfortunately, I don't know whether that's a vintage thing or that they're trying to go for, but it is disproportionately tall. I mean, a lot of watches, the Seamaster that I have, the Submariner, they're more like 13 millimeters. This is 16. It is actually quite chunky for a watch that has really no complication. It's got the date and that's really it. So and the Miyota can be fitted in a watch that is thinner, so I'm not exactly sure why they've chosen to go with this thickness. So there we have it, my look at this Spinnaker Cahill watch from the vintage series of the company. Let me know what you think about this piece and the video. Subscribe, of course, to keep in touch, and don't forget there is a discount code that you can apply to Spinnaker's website if you want to purchase any piece from their international website. Thank you guys for watching, and as always, I will catch you next time.